Hello everyone, patch notes just dropped, which is pretty exciting. I did a whole like VOD review of me going over the patch notes for the first time on stream, but I felt like I got a little emotional about what I was kind of reading. So I'm just gonna do a little more analytical video for this one rather than my live reaction, and I get to kind of explain stuff. So let's get pretty much started. So 6Ps overall got nerfed. They got increased recovery, which makes it better because if you play this game, there's a lot of characters that just six beat you all the time. Um, so they made that easier to deal with because when you whiff it, you could punish people now. So baiting 6Ps is gonna be easier. So like for example, like Testament would do like whiff 6P into whiff 6P all the damn time. So that's kind of nerfed. And again, I'm gonna give like a brief um, changes. There's some changes you cannot imply anything from because there's too much going on. For example, Soul. Everyone on this patch got some type of defense modifier, basically increasing or decreasing the amount of damage they take. Most of the cast got a damage decrease, so overall the patch is going to make everyone do less damage. As if you read up here, they said the goal, I forgot what it was. One of the goals of the patch were to make things do less damage, but big damage hits will do more damage. So stuff will say increased damage, but the way you get the damage seems to be nerfed in a way. So let's go ahead and get started with Soul. He's got the normal 6P change. He's got the normal defense change. He's going to decrease his damage taken. 6P whiffs are better. His 5K is 5 frames now instead of 3 frames, which is great. 6S is slightly worse on whiff. Heavy slash, decreased blowback, so it helps him combo more. And he's just got some more changes. He also got a bunch of special cancels now. So he could special cancel into Vortex and Fafnir. But we'll get to there too. Bandit Bringer, you got increased damage, but it seems as though when you use Bandit Bringer, you're less advantageous. So people stop doing things like Bandit Bringer 2K to steal turns and whatnot. Um, Increased lightning recovery, as you see right here. Yeah. So it's going to be a less troll move to use like to steal turns. Air Bandit Bringer got the input removed, so you aren't gonna be able to charge it. It has decreased leading recovery, so it's safer on block now, but he's not gonna be able to charge it anymore, so it's gonna stop throwing off 6P timings and whatnot. Wild Throw got increased damage. Night Raid has a charge version. It depends on how far he goes. It has better damage on it, and it has increased launch height. Um, so it's pretty different move. You can cancel it from normal moves now. You weren't able to do that before. Fafnir has also similar changes. It doesn't gut crush anymore. It has a clean hit property, and it balances on the wall. And the more the clean hit you get, the more damage it does. And I think um, um, I think you get the wall bounce off of it. Tyrant Rave got a damage increase, and Heavy Mob Cemetery is cancelable from special moves also now, or not special moves, normal moves, so you can use it in combos. And it is a 100-meter super now. So, yep, overall changes. I don't know how this affects Soul. There's a lot of changes, some good ones, some bad ones. So we'll just have to see how Soul plays out. Kai, he's got the normal defense change. He decreases damage taken. His 6P got nerfed. His forward heavy slash got nerfed. Increased recovery, so it's gonna recover slower. Um, Jump S got a hurt box change. We don't know how that affects him yet. Shock state, getting hit by stun edge and shock state increases hit stop, so you're more advantageous after stun edge now. So like you could do like stun edge, and then you get take your turn. Fooder Arc can no longer help with combos now, so combos that would like go full screen with Fooder Arc no longer work anymore. Um, and Vapor Thrust now on Shock State launches, so you get combos off of it now. And using it in combos just kind of prorate the combo, so it's gonna fall faster. And then Dire Clack got a blowback counter hit. Nothing too crazy with Kai. He got some neutral buffs, followed by some combo nerfs, and then some like compensations with Vapor Thrust. The Food or Art combos were better, but the Vapor Thrust combos seemed compensating. Um, so May, she decreases damage taken, which is crazy because she's one of the tankiest characters in the game. It seems like her neutral is worse, right? Standing K, far slide S, and crouching S all have increased startup and increased recovery. So basically, they are slower buttons and harder to use. In exchange for that, she has more damage on big hits, crouching H, standing H, 6H, jumping H. Um, the split now has a movement speed on it, so you can use it to better route combos, and she got a super buff. So they want to basically nerf her neutral in exchange for a higher cash out on bigger hits, right? Um, Axl got a bunch of weird changes. Not sure how they affected him. He got a lot of like, if you played melee, he's got a lot of tipper changes. Increased damage on the farthest edge of the attack. So the further you hit the attack, the more damage it does. This increases zoning. So if you get zoned, or if you zone with this character, you get rewarded more. So it probably stops the play styles where you just like run in and do weird shit with Axl that people do. They give him a lot of increased damage, probably just trying to enforce zoning on him a lot more. Rainwater got nerfed. There's no longer a vacuum effect upon connecting with the opponent. Um, and Axle Bomber increased damage. And he's got a new input for Sickle Storm. Or not Sickle Storm. Sickle. Uh, the Sickle Flash, yeah. They got a new input. It's a quarter circle instead of a charge now. Chip didn't really get any changes. He got the normal system changes. He decreases damage taken. His standing P seems to be a 5 framer now instead of a 3 framer. He got a normal 6P change. He's got some combo changes, and he's got the increased damage. And then he's got the new move, Tightrope. So we'll see how that affects him. So overall, nothing too crazy. Just some damage changes and some combo changes. I wouldn't worry too much about him. Potemkin, I don't really have anything to say. This is a lot of changes. Some of the notable ones, because there's a lot of them. Forward H, sword heavy slash are now wall bounces. Crouching heavy slash hard knockdowns. His Pot Buster now has armor on frame 5. That's the start. That's the active frames. Um, his Hammerfall now has um, his Hammerfall now has armor on the break part of it. Um, so right here, you can now endure single attack. So it incentivizes you to use Hammerfall break more. Um, the the speed of Hammerfall is faster. Slide ahead guard crushes now, but it does put you in counter hit state on recovery. They removed Kara inputs altogether, so you can no longer Kara anything. But to compensate that, Uh, they made Potbuster longer range. So overall, it seems like he got a bunch of consistency buffs. This kind of helps his neutral out. Um, lets him gamble for space more without causing. Lets him gamble for space more without putting himself in too much danger. He also has Blue Wild Assault. If you don't know, Blue Wild Assault puts you in a guard crush state, and you're advantageous. So he could do stuff maybe like Blue Wild Assault Pop Buster, Blue Wild Assault Garuda Impact. He's got a lot of normal changes. There's a lot of changes here, so I don't really want to go over all of them because this is just supposed to be like a quick overview. But um, I suggest going to your local Potemkin player and kind of asking him once the patch is live. It's a lot of changes. You don't really know what's going to go from there. Um, Faust got a cool new move where if he his dust attack where he hits everything, where he hits the person after the fishing pole. He can now hit items. He has his own move from it now. It's called Hole in One. It's Corsical back heavy slash. Um, yeah, Corsical back heavy slash. You could also change. So let's go back to the top. Yep. So defense modifier. This is the new change here. JK is increased recovery. So him doing JK, you're gonna be able to punish him more. Air throw gives him better Oki. It seems. Pulling an item. Um, Pulling an item, you could just you control where on the screen it goes by holding left or right. Get the momentum of it, the horizontal movement speed of the item tossed. Um, Hole in one increased damage. They gave hole in one a clean hit property, or no, they can now be performed individually, so you can do it on your own. You don't need to do it after scalpel anymore. Um, then he just got a bunch of changes. Donut can be obtained in the air after you throw it. Banana can now be obtained in the air after you throw it. Everything else can be. The only change is banana hard knockdowns now. So before it used to be put in a soft knockdown state. Now it's a hard knockdown state. So pretty big bust for him. So I mean the J2K nerf was pretty big, but he got some new changes, which is pretty cool. Milia, defense modifier, decreasing damage taken. You take this. Milia is one of the squishiest characters in the game. Her air backdash can be canceled out quicker. Um, so that's a pretty big buff. So she could act out of back air dash faster. 6P got nerfed, like everyone else's, but she got a active frame recovery. She has 9 total active frames. Most people have 5 to 6. So yeah, pretty big change. Close slash increased damage. JK increased launch height. Frontal JH got a hurtbox change. Hitbox and hurtbox change. JD got increased damage. And then we got some increased damage on a lot of her special moves. And then Capel no longer launches the opponent on grounded hit. So before you used to get Capelled into a combo, but now there's no longer a combo after Capel. Zato, another character everyone loves. Defense modifier change. 6P change like everyone else got. He also had a crazy active frame on it, but they nerfed that. He's got increased damage in a lot of his moves. Oppose now is easier to use. It doesn't drain a bunch of eddies, so you could use it just to eat moves and put them away, and it doesn't kill your eddy gauge too crazy. Um, and then Damn Fang is his command grab, and now recovers all of his eddy gauge. Uh, and then he's Sun Void now has recovery for Eddie. So doing Sun Void to skip neutral is not a thing because you could always kill Eddie. So that's important. So if you see Sun Void, you just smack Eddie and he's dead. So yep. Ram also got a huge overhaul, but we could go ahead and talk about the big things she got. She got just a normal defense modifier, decreasing the damage she takes. 6P changes. Um, she did get it seems like she got better combos off of 6P. Um, so that's interesting. Okay, I don't know where that came from. Um, 10K. She got some decreased damage overall. A big one is her far slash. It seems like they reduced the hurt box on it and increased the hit box, which is insane. Um, but um, she's got increased sword damage. So they made it. If you read up here, they made it so when she has swords, she does more damage with the sword. So when she's swordless, she does a lot less damage. So that's pretty big. Um, let's see the big ones. Uh, as sword now guard crushes and it launches on hit. So that's pretty big. It also attacks in a horizontal range. So before it used to go, or maybe in vertical range. So before it used to go this way, now it goes this way. So this helps her mid screen pressure. Daru now launches on hit, so you can do stuff like far slash Daru, and it'll knock up. Um, the flip ram flip Slido Detro is now an overhead. It also seems like it launches on hit. Um, and it also has a cross up, so you might be able to do stuff like S sword, guard crush into flip, flip over them. So that's pretty cool. Um, Sabatro, this is her windshield wiper where she slams the sword. It can now be special canceled from normals, and yeah, it has increased startup, but you can use it to end combos. Her Rekka was a big change, so her Rekka 1 is slower now. Her Rekka 2 gives you Guard Crush on the power up version, and you no longer able to dash cancel it, which is pretty insane. Um, and then Rekka 3 also added Guard Crush, and Rekka 2 and Rekka 3 both hard knockdown, it seems. Um, yep. And Calvados could only be done if you have both swords, which is pretty big change because Rams used to use this for maximum damage, but now, since oh, there's another change with this. She can no longer pick her swords up. So Ram has a set time now when her swords are going to be active to pick up. So you can no longer do stuff like sword, pick up sword, pick up sword, stuff like that. You're going to have to wait the whole time sword is out. So Calvados is going to be very situational, only when you have multiple swords. Morbato increased damage when both swords are equipped, so they want her to have both swords to do a lot of damage. And if you aren't having both swords, you're probably running pressure. So overall, you're gonna do less damage with this character. But she has some increased setups, usually with the overhead being a combo starter and the mid-screen sword being a pressure tool, and on Daru being launching. So depending on how this character works, she could be insanely strong or a nerf version of the character. But overall, she seems a lot more interesting character. Um, I read over these Leo changes. I'm not too sure what they mean. I feel like I have to ask a Leo player, but we could kind of go over some of the simple stuff. He could no longer. So before, Leo was able to do stuff like dash. He'd get his full dash duration and block. But now, if you're doing stuff like dash block, you will now move not as far. So you can no longer just fly through the whole screen while blocking. 6p increased recovery, decreased damage taken. Um, there's a lot of these moves that say the start of attack can no longer be canceled to overdrives. That's if you're carrying the move. Um, it's a pretty advanced technique. I don't think not a lot of people were doing this, but I don't think they want anyone to do it at all, which is good. The cross up is slower now, so people aren't going to get crossed up as easy. Turbulence is where he slams down and goes into back turn stance. It's now safe on block. And he's got a lot of weird stuff in back turn stance. In back turn stance, if he backdashes, he's now strike and throw in vol. So that's interesting. Probably so he could get out and in. Um, he has some new dash properties on moves, which is interesting. He could like dash and then cancel the dash into in a move. And he also has different. So a start of attack can no longer be canceled on other actions. I'm not sure what this means, but he did get a lot of increased damage. And I'm not really sure what this means. And he also has this parry, which triggers a guard crush effect when canceled, and so you get a pressure after you parry something now, which is interesting. Um, if you want, if you don't want, you don't need it. But I would like to see how these changes play through. This is not as simple as I can't really get what any of this means without being a Leo main. It seems. Nago, you could change his blood to a specific level. Thank God. He decreased damage, decreased guts, so overall he is going to be less tanky, but take less damage. But at lower health, he's gonna take less damage or take more damage. So that's interesting. 6p recovery, everyone got that. 6k now adds crumple on non-counter hit. So that means like you go into your shock state and he's able to command grab you. So it gives him another opportunity to land command grab if he hits 6k. Um, This is some big ones. His heavy slash can no longer be canceled into special moves. You cannot do stuff like heavy slash Beyblade or heavy slash clone and stuff like that. A lot of, which is insane. Added guard crush effect on heavy slash, so now you get guard crush if you use heavy slash, and it now hard knockdown. So you got two buffs for one pretty drastic nerf, and it's also increased damage. Can no longer be canceled into special moves. Crouching S, it's the same thing as this one. Almost exactly cannot be canceled. Increased damage, guard crush, and blowback. So interesting. Um, interested to see how this turns out. Forward heavy slash, increased damage. Blood rage. Now, if you pop on someone, they will be knocked up and they could be comboed afterwards. Um, Shizu, I forgot what Zameriku is. That is, if I'm not mistaken, that's clone. So I don't understand the increased launch height. Probably to help with combos, so you could route into Blood Rage super quick. Blood Rage quicker. Um, Shizu, remove the ground bounce off the second hit, so any hit hard knockdowns now, unless it's a counter hit, and also, um, yep, they hard knockdown now, unless it's a counter hit. So Shizu, just kind of puts you on the ground now, so you cannot get combos from it. Um, Nagoriyuki's health is now reduced to 1 upon it. So whenever you use Zenitsu, so let's say you're going for the Blood Rage Super, whenever you use Zenitsu, you will be put to 1 health upon activation, and then increase damage on it. So you probably, and then if you didn't know, the DP Shizu can no longer be canceled into RC. They put it somewhere here. Shizurikuki now knocks down the opponent straight down right away on ground hit and can no longer be comboed even with when roaming canceled. So yeah. So roaming cancel combos don't work on Shizu, so Shizu just overall has worse conversions on it, which is pretty interesting, but we'll see. Geo seemed to get a pretty big rework. She got a dash change, so I'm pretty sure. Yeah, dash change. So whenever she has more tension, she gets greener, becomes like a green character. She applies more chip damage, but now she also gains more speed. And that is, yep, she gains increased movement speed. So that's pretty scary. So Geo with 100 meters just gonna be zooming around the screen, which is pretty insane. Yeah. Same thing with her. She got decreased damage taken. Dash is a little better, increased momentum carried over. So if you do stuff like dash and then block, you'll be kind of scooting over the screen faster. Um, Forward HS now leaves the opponent closer to you afterwards, so you get um, Oki after her powered up state. They kind of be make her so like her dash is faster, which is pretty good. So Sepultura, this is her kick in her and her special move kick. Increased recovery, increased knockback on block. So overall, it's a little bit worse. But the power up version now hard knockdowns. It can no longer be 6-speed, so that's pretty strong. You get end combos with it. Travajo, decreased recovery, increased movement speed, removes guard crush effect. This is on the Chave version, so this was Guru Dog. They removed the guard crush, but they decreased the recovery, so you're more plus, but no guard crush effect. So Strike Doe's gonna be a little worse off of that, but you have a hard knockdown here, so it's not too bad, but it's not super ideal. Um, and a lot of this other stuff is not too bad, so we could go ahead and skip it. Anji got not the craziest changes. He's able to do Fujin into Fujin now, which is pretty insane. Nagiha has increased knockback, so you're able to punish him for using Nagiha too close now. Rin now hard knockdowns, but you can't combo off of it anymore. Um, and it's also slower. So they want you to use Fujin into Fujin a lot to kind of force your opponent to press. Ko got increased damage, and now his super, his parry super, if you cross it up, he'll turn to you and hit you. So pretty big buffs for him. Um, is another one that got some interesting changes. Her antidepressant scale. I mean, obviously she got the normal ones and better Oki off a throw. Antidepressant scale. This is the note. This you can now fire multiple notes at once, which is pretty cool. And then chemical love, you can now float during chemical love. So if you're in the air, chemical love, and you could do like go left and right. This will just help. This will just help you move around and not get killed while you're doing chemical love, which is it seems like a problem with right now. Um, Heartbox no longer expands to the end of the frame, so you're gonna be able to hit this less. I'm not too sure what Mad Love does, but it says increase active frame, so it seems like a buff. And everything else is just seeing damage increases, which is pretty insane. So overall, got pretty good buffs. Cole Lewis is another one that got pretty drastic changes. Decreased damage. Didn't get a 6p change, but he already had a pretty bad 6p. He got increased damage on all this stuff. His behemoths are all changed. He now has this special technique with his security gauge, which everyone knows, where he could cancel behemoths into behemoths, right? So, and each one casts 2 security. Security levels also have different charge speeds. So when you're at 0 security, it's going to take slower time. When you're at 2 security, it's going to take faster time. Skyfish, which is his machine gun, now slowly drains the security, but you could hold it to keep shooting the gun, which is pretty interesting. And the more it shoots, the more powerful it is because it's a Gatling gun. And then yeah, so overall, pretty crazy changes on for him. So and he also no longer builds security while comboing. But I'm not gonna read all the behemoth changes because there's a million behemoths. Jacko didn't get anything too crazy. She got a sweep nerf, so you can no longer combo into kick after sweep. 6p change, everyone got this. Defense and risk change. The risk change is big. Decreased risk defense and made risk level change more when blocking. So yeah, overall risk changes for her. Um, so um, and then whenever she does servant shoot now, she gets special cancel into dash. Um, so that's pretty cool. Um, because just makes her pressure better. Happy Chaos got some big changes. I know this character is pretty hated. He's got defense. He decreases damage taken, but decreases gut rating, so he will eventually take more damage, so you could kill him quicker. Dust moving forward during the recovery, so he would do stuff like dust into shot into dust. That's no longer true. You should be able to grab him out of it. Sweep, increase launch height, so this probably helps against wall slump combos. J2K is also launches now, so it gives them a big combo, and Big's a big combo, but it nerfs wall slump loop, so you used to be able to loop this with wall slumps. He can no longer do that. His shot normally has more damage, and his scapegoat no longer negates the opponent's strike collision. So if someone hits clone, he gets hit also, which is pretty big for this character because clone is insane button. So yeah, let's move on to Baiken. She got the normal damage modifier change, normal 6p change. She's faster now, so when she hits dash, she's a little faster. Far S has decreased knockback, helps combo. HS added ground bounce effect on grounded hit, removed wall bounce effect, so you'll be able to combo with heavy slash easier too. Um, Crouching HS also has a combo change, and forward HS also has a combo change. So overall, she got better combos. Increased damage. Kabari has a vacuum effect, so whenever you do Kabari, you're gonna bring them to you real quick. Yozansen now launches the opponent higher when they or added a vacuum effect to bring them closer to you when you do late Yozansen. So cross ups are going to probably be a little scary to deal with. Higari, this is her parry, can now be performed during block stun, which is unfortunate. But it's pretty cool. And then after she successfully parries one of your moves, she will now do a dash cancel into guard crush, where now it's her turn. And then she got some proration changes on her super. Testament did not get much changes, but there are some big ones. Stain, and throw are pretty big. So if you throw someone with stain on them, you get a full combo, and you get increased damage on Rave Reaper, increased damage on forward HS, and the 6P and damage changes. Bridget also didn't get too crazy changes. She takes more damage but increased guts, so overall health went up. 6P, nerf. Everyone else got that. Um, some consistency changes to some of her buttons, and she also got this new way to use rolling movement. She can now influence the drift on the roll if she's holding up or down, which is pretty interesting. We'll see how Bridget players lab this out. And then nothing really else. Um, Sinsum got some crazy changes. They made his stamina recovery lower. So he gets stamina slower, but all the moves that use stamina are worse. So he got some worse buttons overall. Increased startup on close slash. Stamina got weaker. 2S got worse. So it looks like a bunch of nerfs. But then Beak Driver now has Guard Crush and now combos on hit. Hawk Breaker now is easier combo to the second hit. Um, Decreased recovery on it, increased damage on it. Pretty insane. Hoof Stomp follow up now adds a Guard Crush on it, and now add a ground bounce. So you probably get a combo if you hit someone with it now. Right now you get a tumble, which gives you a combo, but it's a weird combo. Um, so Elk Hunt follow up, increased guard crush duration. So it seems like they just added guard crush on a lot of his follow ups off of Hoof Stomp, Beak Driver. They all get guard crush. They all can combo now. But to compensate this, stamina is now worse. He's now going to have more stamina problems. They also made a Gazelle Step their own move, um, and they increased some of his damage overall. Bedman ones, I'm not too sure. It seems like they just give him a bunch more damage and a bunch more combo and block string changes. I don't really know too much about Bedman because he's just not played too much. But yep. Um, Asuka also got some weird changes, but it seems like Test Case 3 got nerfed. Um, Yeah, a lot of his like staffs and the way he covered mana are different. One of the biggest ones is when is blocking, he no longer recovers mana. So before, he used to lose mana, but then he'd survive on defense and then come back well full mana. He no longer does that as long as you're hitting him or making him block. The mana will not return, so it makes him play a little more reserved. He does not want to be low on mana, or he will die, and he will stay in a bad state for a very long time. And a lot of his spells got changed. Apparently, Test Case 2 got better and Test Case 3 got worse. But we'll have to see. This is also out of my realm. There's not too many good Asukas you could follow or understand. Johnny kind of got away with everything. He now negates projectiles and then, just normal damage changes. He got a damage buff. Elphelt's interesting. Just normal changes here. She got some damage increases. Bomb Chocolat now combos easier. So if you hit that, you'll probably get full combo now. Here I Go can now be dash canceled. So this is the first hit of Rekka. So you can do like Rekka 1 into dash cancel and maybe grab or something. Who knows? We'll see what the Alpha players do. Nailed it. This is the last hit. This is the HS part during Chain Lollipop. This now added a wall bounce effect, and it also hard knockdowns. So she gets a combo off it if she hits you in the corner and hard knockdowns. That's pretty insane. Bomb Veneer. This is her super, which used to be a command grab. Now it's a strike attack, and you're able to break wall with it. And then the bomb vest will be on you after wall break, which is pretty insane. Wild Assault. Now she gets red Wild Assault. Probably helped with her conversions, and probably just lets her not get into Chain Lolly as crazy, or maybe gets her to Chain Lolly more. Not too sure what this Wild Assault's supposed to do here, so we'll see how they use it. A.B.A got pretty nerfed, I would say. Normal defense changes. A.B.A had this technique where she used to be able to dash block as long as you hold dash and held back, your character would move forward while you were blocking. So if anything hit you while you were moving forward, it was in a dash block because you would auto block. Um, it was more like a block button, which is really strong, but it helped her in a lot of zoner matchups. No, she no longer could do that, so she's obviously going to lose to zoners more heavy. Um, the hop, intertwine, and tilt, increased recovery. So if she whiffs it, she's going to get punished more. Decreased knockback. If you do this in a wrong spacing, you will probably get grabbed now. And depending on the increased recovery on this, it's probably less advantageous. So right now it's -1, which is pretty perfect because she has a 4-frame button. If they make this anything less than -1, which it seems like they will, it will be pretty useless to do this on block because you'll always have to block afterwards. You cannot RPS at all. But they did change some stuff, and you no longer get counter hit combos off of it, which is pretty unfortunate. But I'm pretty sure it does hard knockdown. Um, okay, I was wrong. It does not have hard knockdown. Sorry. Frenzy Astonish. There was an issue where like sometimes you would try going into the parry, and it wouldn't work. You would do like slash instead. So now it gives more priority when A.B.A was trying to do this move. Judgment Sentiment. This is a big one. Basically, if someone tries mashing and you do Donzai, this is Donzai. Someone tries mashing and you do Donzai, they'll get comboed, they'll get put in the air, and you'll be able to combo them. So it's pretty good. And then they increase damage on her key super. This is the one where you would try finishing someone off. So overall, she'll do more damage for decreased neutral, right? She is not going to be able to dash block, nor is she going to be able to use this to close gaps. So, but when she is in jealousy, she will kill you. Slayer got some decent changes. He takes more damage. His backdash is better. He's got a better 6K. Forward slash now has a ground bounce effect. I'm not too sure why. We'll have to see how this works. He probably just gets better combos off of it. Heavy Slash has increased recovery, so it's worse. JD has increased active frames. Not sure what this kind of entails, but we'll see. Mappa P has increased recovery and increased knockback, so you won't get comboed off of it. You don't get like P Mappa into 5K into P Mappa, and it's less advantageous, so you could mash on block P Mappa better. Pile Bunker increased damage, so he's gonna do more damage to you if he hits you, but he's gonna have harder ways to hit you. Super Mappa Hunch is no longer strike and throw involved during startup, but added strike and throw involved during midway through attack. I think this is just to incentivize this move to be more of a whiff punish tool rather than a reversal. So that's pretty interesting. And then Last Horizon input. So overall, this is a pretty good patch. I kind of just briefly went over it because I just didn't want to take too long. Overall, I think the characters are pretty crazy. There's the defense modifiers here. Um, yeah, tell me what you guys think about the patch. If you guys liked the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you. I appreciate you guys being here. Bye.